however you like.
Very, very well, Your Honor. So there obviously the court has reviewed the investigator's report. There's a compelling amount of evidence in this case, circumstantially, that supports the conclusion that the defendant killed his cousin and then disposed of her remains. I guess in light of the order, I'm not gonna go into any vivid detail as to the nature of the evidence. If the court has specific questions, I'm happy to address them. But in addition to that, I think as the facts are laid out in the investigator's report and the overall circumstances of this case illustrate that the defendant poses a danger to the community. I think that the disposal of a human being into a dumpster illustrates the regard that this particular defendant has for human life. Again, when you look at all of the forensic evidence in this case, it is compelling. And in addition to that evidence, there are some factors that I want to highlight when it comes to concerns that I have with the defendant's flight risk. And number one is that, from my understanding, the defendant has significant out-of-state contact. He did reside in Texas for a period of his life and accumulated various criminal contacts in the state of Texas, including being implicated in various petty offenses as a juvenile, some of which my understanding is resulted in juvenile dispositions. Secondly, he is currently on parole for lying to investigators in Macomb County in connection with the investigation that gave rise to this case. My understanding is that during the course of his parole, he has inquired with the Michigan Department of Corrections about relocating to the state of Nevada. Third, he is facing a tremendously high potential sentence in this case, especially given that sentencing can run consecutively when it comes to the tampering charge and the murder charge. I have his guidelines on the minimum end of the tampering charge. Again, this is the minimum end, scored at 34 to 67 months. And the minimum end of the murder charge scored at 225 months to 375 months to life. And I think that any time there is a sentence that is potentially that high, there is a risk of flight. And the other concern that I have is that, as is laid out in further detail throughout the course of the investigation, the defendant has a proven track record of obstruction in this case. Obstruction in the form of making evidence disappear, obstruction in the form of false statements, and given the overall circumstances of this case, given the defendant's contacts with other jurisdictions, he's not only a flight risk, but he's a danger to this community and a danger to the very integrity of this investigation. And because of all those factors, I would ask for him to be remanded.
Thank you, APA-LC. Any response, Councilman?
Yes, Your Honor, we're asking for a personal bond. As far as the allegations of being a flight risk, I'll go in reverse. I think contacts as a juvenile in the state of Texas does not make a criminal nature and a network that he can go to. He does not have the means to go anywhere. He just started a job a month ago. He lives with his family. He has a wife and 2 children here. He is not a flight risk at all. He doesn't have the means and he doesn't have anything necessary to go anywhere, let alone out of the state of Michigan. As far as the danger to society, I would argue that is not true. He has been on parole. He served. He had 2 instances where he did not tell the truth to a detective in East Point, Michigan, and he made a plea. He served his time in the correctional facility for those charges. Those are the only times he talked to the investigator. Okay, there's not a multitude of lies. He served his time. He's on parole right now. He's been on parole for 5 months. He's had no problems with it whatsoever. In his job, he goes to work. He goes home. He goes back to work. He goes home. That's all he does. He doesn't go anywhere. His grandmother comes and visits him and his children. He is not a threat to society, nor is he a threat to leave. He's been a model parolee in this situation. Okay. So to say that he has all these things and he's this huge, vast criminal empire and he can go and leave the country and go to Argentina and not face extradition, that's simply not true. Okay, they're painting a picture of a person who is not in front of you today. Okay, as far as what happened, I believe this is at least the third time the prosecutor's office has tried to bring charges against my client for the disappearance and alleged murder of Zion Foster. And they've been told multiple times, you do not have enough evidence. Now, I don't know what they have today that has changed that, but it can't be as compelling as anything before because they've been denied. They've been denied to bring charges on multiple occasions by the prosecutor's office. So again, I don't know, and I have just got into this today. I just found out about this hearing today, about not even 10 minutes ago. So I haven't seen any of the evidence or spoken about. I haven't seen any of the reports. I haven't even known anything was suppressed until you spoke to it today. But he's painting a picture of a person that doesn't exist. And actually, when I represented Mr. Brazier in Macomb County, he's actually one of the smartest, most articulate persons I've ever met. He is not some criminal. He's not some murderer. They've never been able to show it. And one of the mistakes that were made by the court was ignoring evidence that didn't disappear. They just flat out ignored it, and they were unable to bring charges. Now, I'm going to find out through discovery what has changed to this point where they think they can make allegations of second degree against my client. So therefore, we're asking for a personal bond, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any response from? Go ahead.
He'd like to get back to work. It took him over a month to get the current job he has now. He's in financial despair to take care of his whole house. He's had to move. I found out just this afternoon that the Detroit police kicked in the door of his home while nobody was there. Searched his home, ransacked it, took items including a computer that's not his, left a note on the couch telling what they took, and I believe a copy of a search warrant that I haven't seen yet. I mean, being on parole, he may or may be subject to a warrantless search, but I'm not sure kicking in his door when nobody's home to search a home and ransacking it allows that even on parole for a parole. But again, 5 months on parole, not a peep out of it, man.
Thank you. Any response from the people?
Your Honor, just a couple of points I want to make. Number one, about the reference to charges supposedly being denied at various points. This case was the result of a very lengthy investigation, an investigation that was made lengthy by conduct by the defendant's own admission that he disposed of the victim's body, which was never found. In any situation where we're dealing with the lack of a body, there's going to have to be a lot of investigation and a lot of time put into the investigation, and that's what got us here. But at the end of the day, we have a situation where the defendant and his younger cousin, who was 17 at the time when he was 23, walked into his house late at night, and she came out dead, was put in the trunk of his car, and he disposed of her body in a dumpster and then gave a series of inconsistent and largely unsupportable claims about what happened. So this idea that this is just some innocent person standing here is not going to be bared out by the facts that get presented in this case. And for that and for all of the information that's laid out in the investigator's report, again, I would stand by the request for remand. Short of that, I would ask for a high cash bond with a GPS tether and a house arrest. But I believe in these circumstances that remand is the only appropriate bond.
Thank you. Anything further, counsel?
Yes, I agree with the tether. I don't have a problem with that. As long as he can go to work and go home, we have no problem with that. He's not, again, a threat to anybody. He's not a threat to society. And to say that these charges took so much investigation, well, then they jumped the gun on multiple other times to try to get charges brought forth, and they were not able to. And to say that he stopped this investigation, well, this is a 2022 case. You know what stopped this case the Detroit police not doing their job, period. And that's not anything my client did. He did
Thank you
not
both.
find the body. Yes, he did dispose of it. He made
Your Honor,
to say he murdered her at this point and to hold a bond based upon a murder that did not occur, it's irresponsible, I believe.
Your Honor, can I
Thank you
make
both.
one response?
Sure.
The idea that the Detroit Police Department did not do their job is frankly offensive, given that it's been publicly reported in this case that officers of the Detroit Police Department risk their own health to dig and dig and dig through a landfill in hazardous conditions for months.
Okay,
to
let's
find the
keep
victim's
it
body.
to the purpose that why we're here. Okay, gentlemen, let's keep it to the purpose why we're here. I want to hear stuff regarding bond, and I appreciate both of your arguments. Anything further, APALC?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything further, Counsel Donnie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you both. Mr. Brazier, the court's heard advocacy from arguments from both parties. Your attorney has advocated very well on your behalf. The court takes into consideration a number of things. I've had the opportunity to review the investigator's report, and it is extremely concerning. These allegations are of the utmost serious, specifically count one, which is a possibility of a life offense where the allegation is somebody lost their life in reaction in relation to your actions. The court has considered very concerning that you were on parole for a conviction while at the time of this allegation as indicated by APALC. These are very serious pending allegations, and taking into consideration your prior criminal record, as well as the parole status and the serious nature of these allegations, the court, Mr. Brazier, does find you to be a danger to the community and finds that releasing you on a personal bond or any bond will not adequately satisfy the public's, not adequately protect the public's safety, finding you to be a danger to the community, given the information alleged in the investigator's report as well as provided by APALC. And for those reasons, the fact that you are on parole at the time of these allegations, the serious nature as indicated of the charges, specifically count one, as well as the information throughout the investigator's report, the court finding you to be a danger to the community is remanding you into custody for further proceedings. Anything further from the people?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything from defense?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, good luck to everybody involved.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day. Thank you both for your patience.